All right, hey folks, so I'm Cam with Urban and Rural Survival. Today I've got a guest. This is my friend Justin. We're going to be talking a little bit today about merchant services, credit card payments, and especially how they relate to small businesses, especially people like myself who are in a firearms related industry, and some of the ways that we can combat some of the political atmosphere that we're starting to see emerge with some of this stuff. So once again, I'm Cam. I'm going to let my friend Justin here introduce himself, talk a little bit about himself, his business, what he's got going on, and then we'll jump into it.
Thanks, man. My name is Justin Capel. I own and operate Monument Payments. We are a payment processing company based out of Western Colorado, but we work with anybody and everybody across the country. We specialize in credit card processing across the board, whether it be e-commerce sales, retail, point of sale, software integrations, mobile payments. Basically, if you want to accept credit cards in one form or another, we can do it.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty easy way of thinking about it. I'll be honest, when I first got into this, when I started my first small business, which is my operation I got going on right now, it was very confusing to me. You would think that it wouldn't be, but there's all this, like there's gateways, there's all this crazy stuff, and it was very confusing to me. But I think that's kind of a little bit of a benefit that people can expect to have someone like you is you understand how the game works, and you can kind of take that legwork out from them. And as you said, a simple way of thinking about it is if there's some way that you need to accept a credit card payment, whether it's at some sort of function, it's on your website and you're trying to sell merchandise online or whatever it might be, or it just might be at your physical business in your store. You need some way of being able to route those payments and accept those credit card payments, which is what Justin does. Now, the main reason why I wanted to do this video with Justin is not just to give him a little bit more exposure, but also it's important for me in this industry because unfortunately this stuff has become very, very politicized. We're seeing some really sketchy stuff going on, especially related to firearms and all that. I think I don't really need to explain that too much to people, especially the ones that follow me and my company. So the benefit of going with somebody like Justin is you're never going to have to worry about your credit card processing company screwing you over, right? So we're hearing all these horror stories from people who are dealing with PayPal or even Square or whoever, and they just they either get screwed out of thousands of dollars or whatever else happens to them, and then they're sitting there with their head spinning. I know Mike Glover with Fieldcraft Survival is having some issues very recently with his whole deal, and they basically, pretty much put a freeze on his account where he couldn't accept any payments, and he has such a big operation with so many people ordering stuff that he had, I'm pretty sure, like hundreds of thousands of orders that he couldn't.
Heard on a podcast, it was Shopify froze $60,000.
Yeah.
Of sales just held on to it.
And you're just sitting there basically screwed. I mean that is a lot of money, even for someone like him. And and the worst part is even if that thing works itself out, or even if he has to go to litigation, that's expensive. Yeah. And that could take who knows how long to get your money.
Yeah, and then on top of it, throws a wrench in the gears of this whole streamlined operation.
Oh
so,
yeah.
Maybe they obviously froze $60,000, but they shut everything down too. So. I mean, I don't know how many people visit his site daily and make a purchase, but they're trying to do so and it's not happening. So not only are they holding funds,
makes him look bad.
Funds, around the clock, and it just for a business, for any business, that would be a nightmare. Let alone a business that size.
Well, and I've heard he's a very resilient dude. He's got a big operation going. But I've heard personal accounts of people with small businesses that are not that successful. Don't have that cushion, if you will, and to a small business owner on a tight budget with a smaller operation like what I got going on, if they just decide to halt a couple $1,000s, that could pretty much cost you the livelihood of your business, which is really not cool. So, I think more and more when we see this type of stuff, we need to take that initiative to, you know, move towards more local, trustworthy businesses and get away from these big companies like PayPal. They don't need our money anyways, and why are we supporting these companies like PayPal that pretty much treat us like dirt? I mean, why? Right? I mean,
I think the answer to that is that it's just PayPal, Square, Shopify, Stripe. They're the household names in this industry. You know, they have heavy marketing dollars that they push. It's on social media everywhere, and I mean, they make it easy. They make a startup easy. You can get going. You can sign up and be ready with Square to take payments, in 5 to 10 minutes, which is fantastic. But what they're not doing and there's countless other products and companies out there like myself to go with, but folks just don't know about them. Right. You mix, their, in your face marketing on top of, seamless, quick onboarding, why wouldn't you go with that, right? Well, as we're seeing now, there's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to go with that, but what people don't understand that, I try to, explain to prospective clients is that, working with myself or someone similar to me in the same position, there's a lot of us out there. I try to take a consultative approach. Want to explain to prospective clients how this industry works behind the scenes, what's going on, why you may get flagged, and how we can proactively mitigate, those risk factors from the get-go, so that once you are set up and approved, you're good to go, and you're going to be safe.
Right.
So what we do that those big companies don't do, and when I say we, I mean most every other payment processing company besides those guys.
Yep.
Is when we bring on a new client, you're put through an underwriting process. So they check you out, as a person, they check your business out, they make sure everything's legitimate and verified, so that you're not, a false entity trying to
scamming
pull
people,
some money laundering stuff or things like that. And they take your business type, into account. What type of business are you doing? And there's some processors out there that are, less, about the Second Amendment, type business. And then there's, alternatively other ones that are pro Second Amendment. And a lot of it has to do with every processing company has a bank that they partner with, right? The processing company handles the legwork, but the bank is where the money comes from. They send the money out, they bring the money in, and the bank has, a risk, assessments that they do, and they also have what they consider reputational risk. So there's certain banks out there, I won't name them, doesn't really matter in this instance anyways, they're not huge ones that we know, but there's ones out there that won't go with Second Amendment type business simply for reputational risk, and it typically falls into politic reasoning. So obviously, which is the same reason, and going into that same reason these Shopify, Stripe, Square, PayPal accounts are just getting shut down without warning is because they didn't go through the underwriting process. They didn't vet the business. They didn't see what you do. Everything's so automated with them, and they're just they're bringing in accounts by the thousands a day. They don't have the capacity to do so. But what they do have in their software is just automatic risk and red flag meters. So if anything comes across their scale that raises a red flag. Again, it's not people operating it. It's just they set up these automated processes, and it'll just shut you down, and then they'll go in and analyze it. But it's a lot like social media these days too.
Oh, absolutely.
If you say something that doesn't maybe quite fall within their agenda, you're going to get a slap on the wrist. You're going to get put in the corner. You're going to get grounded for a month. Same concept.
Yeah, well, I've been getting a lot of that personally, and it's driving me crazy. And man, at least in my opinion, if we have the power to not support, like the only reason why I have a Facebook is for my business. That's it. If I didn't own my business, then I wouldn't have Facebook at all, because there's nothing there for me. I mean, it's cool, I guess, to see what some of my old high school friends are up to, but really, man, it's my business, and that's the only reason why I put up with their censorship and their nonsense. I mean, that's what it is. They treat their user base like crap, and so do these big companies, PayPal, and not only that, but I think this is important to bring up just really quick before we move on. I've heard stories of people getting $8,000 frozen or just stolen from them that they made just because they had a really good day or a really good week. Mm-hmm. So basically, from what I understand, these payment processors will have a predictable amount of money that they see you making, and if you pull in extra because maybe you had like I said, a really good day, a really good week, or you did some new marketing strategies, and all of a sudden you get slammed with some more business, and then they just decide that something is fishy.
Yeah.
So then they just take your money, and it's like, that's some super predatory behavior, if you ask me, right? So once again, ask yourself, do you really want to support those companies, or do you want to support somebody like Justin or somebody else? If you end up finding somebody else in your area or whatever, somebody local that you want to deal with, I really think it's worth considering. So that being said, just to kind of get closer to wrapping up this video, what can people expect if they do end up going with Monument Payments? What can they expect as far as, do you have like the card readers, the machines that they can easily swipe? Do they have, what could they expect for fees? What could somebody expect? Customer service, all that good stuff going with you guys.
Yeah, good questions. All of that, you can expect all that in great ways, but the number one most important thing that we try to hammer home is that you can expect a personal relationship. Again, going back to the big tech companies, you're not dealing with anybody, you're not going to get a hold of anybody. And like I said, we like to bring a consultative approach. When you work with me, you have my cell phone number, you can text me, you can email me, and you're going to get an actual human that, you're developing a relationship with, because that's our goal with business owners is, we're a business too, and we're trying to develop long-term relationships. This is definitely by and large considered a transactional industry where relationships are basically unheard of. We want to break that mold. We want to change that trajectory because there's a need for relationships in this industry, obviously, and to have somebody in your corner that's a true professional that understands this business inside and out can proactively set you up to, like I said, mitigate those risks as well as maybe set you up to be more successful down the road in this this part of your business. But as far as, like you said, what to expect we can do, I think I went over in the beginning.
Yeah.
Basically,
pretty much
any way to take a credit card, we can do it.
You can do it. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what's important, man. I think a lot of people think that like just Square can, put the little thing on your phone and swipe. And it's totally not true. You've got all that hardware, all that machinery. And that was, what you just went over, especially the relationship thing. That was, that's why I use you. That's why I personally use your services, because, it didn't start out that way. But at this point, you and I are homies. Yeah. And it's cool to be buddies with the person who does that, because you would think that the only options would be PayPal and these, the 1-800-INDIA thing. That's how you would think that it would work. But it's cool to be able to be buddies with whoever, and whoever is in your network of your business. And card payments, merchant processing, you hear that and it sounds like, I don't know, it just sounds so dull and corporate, but boring. I think the whole point is that it doesn't have to be, right? Yeah. So definitely consider that. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. I think this has been an awesome video. I've been wanting to do this for a little while. You guys know where to find me, Urban and Rural Survival. I've got some exciting changes coming up. I'm actually going to be moving locations. I'm going to be doing more training. I'm planning on shooting more videos and pumping all that stuff out. I apologize for the delay in some of my videos. I've just kind of had a lot of weird stuff going on, so there's been a little bit of a halt in some of that stuff. But I've got a lot of cool stuff coming, planning on doing. I will be adding info in the description of this video. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Justin, where can they find you? Where can they find your services if they do end up wanting to follow up with that? Yeah, if anybody wants to reach out to me, just go to my website, monumentpayments.com. There's a contact form on there. As well, they can just shoot me a text. Don't call me because I'll just filter it because I get a lot of spam. Yeah. But phone number is 970-239-1342. And then, Sure. Yeah, it took me. That's I have my personal number and my business number. Yeah, I don't always repeat the business number, but 970-239-1342.
shoot me a text. No, it's actually
Sweet.
1307. 1342 is my office. So.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
We'll get that all in the description below
Yeah.
there. It'll all be there. He's easy to get a hold of, and
I
like
tell
I
him
said,
I'm a real person. I can't even.
yeah, exactly,
reach
right.
it.
Yeah, man, and like I said, if you guys reach out, you will get him or you will get his assistant Danielle. You're not going to get some weird random person that doesn't care. So. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you consider something like this. I am going to be trying to make more videos related to small business, some tips like that. I think that's a super important thing. There's a ton of small business owners out there, existing and people who are just starting the small businesses. And I know for me, for sure, it's been a hell of a journey, and there's a lot that I could have been helped with if I had known. A lot of this, to be honest with you, I've just been kind of figuring out myself.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. I've learned a ton. But that being said, I think that we can't have enough resources out there for people who need to learn how to facilitate some of these processes and get a business going off the ground and get it successful. And it's not an easy thing, So.
Yeah, and if I could add to that, it's always good to have somebody in your corner. We live in an age where instant gratification and convenience. Everybody wants everything right now, and they're in doing so. Everybody's trying to eliminate the middleman to streamline things, which I get to an extent. But going back to what you just said, when you're especially a new business owner or trying to learn the ins and outs of the different aspects of business, it's good to have a middleman. It's good to have a guy. You got to talk to my guy. He's the best at this. Like it's great to have that in your corner because it gives you peace of mind, makes you feel like you have somebody to fall back on in case, maybe you feel like you are maybe not doing it the right way or maybe getting screwed over. And to add to that, if somebody does reach out to me from this video, I know this industry has, kind of a tarnished reputation for scumbag salespeople, and a lot of people are hesitant. You can rest assured that you can reach out to me, and I won't try to hit you with a salesy, greasy used car salesman pitch.
Yeah.
Our goal is to, see if we can even offer you a solution that would work. If it would, awesome. But if not, no sweat, no pressure, no obligation. So.
That's awesome. Well, Justin, you are the man. Thanks for making the time. You guys, thanks for watching, and more to come.